The Many Life of the Garment is an exhibition I hoped to do since many years and I never did. It started at home, you know, every day you have your own exhibition at home. The Many Lives of the Garment is a work, is a way to understand more how you meet a clothes, how you manage it, how you used to wear it, how you lost. It is a quite very comment dire, pedagogic exhibition also to understand the different moment you live with your garments. I think, I still believe there is a kind of poetry into the ordinary things. So the exhibition is also made for that, to reveal to the public you are seeing an exhibition with a very interesting proposition from designers, but you have to consider your own way to dress. That's why also we introduce something, a surprise into the exhibition in order to make a confusion between the real visitors and other visitors they can discover it. When a visitor, the real visitors will come, he will be faced to another visitor, which is a mannequin, looking at a piece, a clothes piece. So there is three dimensions. The art piece is a clothes piece on a pedestal, which could be a dress, which could be my wardrobe cut, which could be the dress of Tilda Swinton and Charlotte Rampling. There is the fake visitors wearing the It's Academy fashion designers, and there is the real visitors. I want that another visitors could consider another visitors as part of the exhibition. This is, I think, the first time we have all this mixed together, all these three dimensions together. I thought it was a very important moment to ask to notorious people to accept a loan of a clothes, but not a fantastic loan. For example, I'm very in love with Tilda when she's wearing the shirt of her father and a normal pants and something very daily. The exact things with Charlotte Rampling. I asked to them to accept the loan of something very daily they used to wear, and the clothes, the atmosphere of the clothes are installed on chairs. It is a seconda pelle of themselves, and it changed, you know. You can appreciate the shirt, the garments of Tilda Swinton without knowing it's Tilda Swinton. But suddenly, if you read the cartel, the description, and you consider these clothes belonged to Tilda Swinton, it's changed something, because clothes are very part of the owner. I remember Issey Miyake. We had a conference with Issey Miyake, and he said at that time, you know, a clothes is half made after the studio, after we did the pattern, after we did the colors, every step into realization a cloth. But it's completely done when a woman or a man are placing the clothes on shoulders. We need to place the label of the owner. It is half part of the cloth. That's why we decided to place the Charlotte Rampling and Tilda Swinton, but also later there is the exact and the same vitrines for every people from Trieste who could accept a loan of themselves. Because I really love when someone is talking about a clothes, about story he and she could have with a particular clothes. And I think it's important also to permit every people to show not only a clothes, but to show the story, the relation they have with a dress or with a jacket. Something very ordinary, but which is becoming very poetic if you are installed on an exhibition in a museum. And I think it's very collective. The clothing, the fashion is the most collective discipline we have. So we have to preserve this dimension even in an exhibition. It's very special. This exhibition is very personal. Maybe, maybe it's an exhibition between a performance and a theater piece. Yesterday or this morning I was alone into the exhibition and I met fake visitors, and suddenly I thought it was a real visitors after I saw a man in the same position. It's like the story of 20 years of the exhibition I used to make for every people, every museums, every country when I was invited to do an exhibition. But I think it's the first real fashion exhibition. It's not a fashion exhibition, it's a cloth exhibition. And it's very poetic, I think. For example, there is a part which is moving for me. You know, since few years I decided to cut my own wardrobe and to write some memories, because you have memories according to each clothes you have. And suddenly to see my wardrobe on frame with text, it's made me very proud about something I don't know. Not very proud to cut, because it's quite subversive to cut your own wardrobe, especially when you are a curator, and I was a director of fashion museum, but it's quite something dangerous I like. Now, I think this exhibition could be everywhere. It's a lesson. It's not a lesson for over curator, it's a lesson for me. It's something I wanted to do since I was a child. You know, when I was a child, because I'm coming from a very humble family, we were 6 children. I didn't have my own bedroom, so I used to spend time in the attic. And in the attic, my mother had a lot of boxes with clothes of my sisters, brothers, and I used to unpack all the clothes, and I did a very comfortable sofa. And I spent all my, every year when I was a child, between 6 years old until 15 years old, sleeping into the clothes. This exhibition is the attic where I used to be when I was a child. When you have an armoire, an armadio, most of them have a mirror inside. He opened the door with a mirror in order to enter into the story. And it was not possible for me to describe everything. It did, he gave some very beautiful words to each chapter of the exhibition, and it was a very natural conversation.